Hey, how you doing? This is Clever Sausage. I'm going to have to redo this video. I did it and I used portions of this just to show that it got a copyright strike. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, because it's just viewing it. Okay, yeah, I don't know. They got their little peeves, right? They think I'm going to try and make money off it. Well, then wouldn't I be trying to make money off all these ones? Right, it's because I viewed that one, right? They want to hit me for copyright strike. Okay, so I'm going to go around the bush here, right, and do it a different way if I can. Okay, basically my video was about all these claimants, right, using the Bible, Scriptures, Revelations 13:18. Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends a beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who have understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. Okay, some versions of the Bible have number of his name. It's the number of a man. Okay, so you got all these different claims, right? Oh, it's whatever that is. Pat you on the mark of the beast. You know, there's an evangelist, Greg Laurie, saying something. Okay, it's Bill Gates, this chickie here, saying that she wrote down a coronavirus and then all the letters according to numerology or whatever, using the English alphabet, added up to 666 and all this, you know. Yeah, they're all getting it from the modern versions, right? The modern American Bible Society, Roman Catholic pushed translations, right? Okay, you got something here, the mark of the beast, digital certificates and vaccines. It's nothing to do with that, right? Okay, if you have the original Aramaic, Galilean Aramaic, if John spoke that, or Hebrew, and you translate it into English, okay, let's go back there again. If it's the original manuscripts that have been preserved, right? They've been hidden and preserved for 2,000 years, right? Over 2,000 years from the Roman Catholics and Islam, right? If they came from the two of the original 12 disciples, right? Okay, right. Thomas and Thaddeus, right, who went across the lands to Urhai, Edessa, which is now modern Turkey, founded a church there, the original Syrian Church of the East, right. They gave the founding priests there these manuscripts, who again hid it from Roman Catholics for 2,000 years in Islam, right. Islam came in and didn't like their icons, so they got rid of those, but they still use them in their traditions, right? And their icons, their symbols, right? Okay. Yeah, and haven't been tampered with, as it's the head patriarch in 1957, Isai Shimon, right? It testifies it, you know, from the day they were given till 57 and later, right? 1957 and later. They weren't messed with. They've never been touched or tampered with, right? They're still in the original format that they were given to them, right, by Thomas and Thaddeus, okay, who then went on to different parts of India, obviously found some more churches there, probably gave them a copy, right, because they have an e-book in Indian language. It only has like attesting that it was given by Mar Thoma, or Mar Thomas, right? Mar means master or lord. Okay. Then you got Andrew Gabriel Roth testifying that, you know, that he translated the Syriac, Eastern Syriac Peshitta, bypassing the Western version and Latin Vulgate and all that. Okay, from that same church. And you got Victor N. Alexander. Go look at his story of Adam and Eve. It's put in the YouTube Aramaic scriptures. The old guy holding up a book of Bereshit, Genesis, right? He's translated into English from the Assyrian Aramaic or Assyrian, okay, and so on, right? that's completely different to your modern versions. Also have a look at my video on all the modern Bible versions that have come out, that have been pushed, through the Roman Catholic Church power, right, by the American Bible Society. You'd be surprised, because on the left there's a list of all the books, Bibles, versions from the Hebrew Old Testament, and then all Latinized versions, the Vulgate, etc., etc. What's his name? Wycliffe, Tyndale, Luther. They all translated it from the Latin, and the next translation is from the Latin, and the next one, right? And on the other column, on the right hand column, there's no Greek ones, no Greek manuscripts, right? No Koine Greek or whatever, which was akin to the ancient Hebrew, and the ancient Hebrew, or Ketav Iri, IRI, or the Assyrian Aramaic, or Asheri, Ketav Asheret, or Ketav Asheri, right, found in the Talmuds, the Jews' Talmud, in portion, whatever, right? Okay, yeah, it's very close to it. Okay, and there's nothing, no mention of no Greek text, original Greek text in that column. I'll show you on a video in a minute. But all these people here, right, are pushing that, basically that. Making stuff up like that lady, she's using the word corona, using the English alphabet, and coming up with this fantasy, this assumption, right? And I'm not wrong, we're right, we can't be wrong. And I'll prove it to you that she's wrong, okay? Because most people say, you don't know nothing, you always quote, whatever, and you don't know nothing, you've got no knowledge, you're dumb, and all this crap. Why are they saying that? Because I expose them and they get hurty-worty, right? I expose their lies, their errors, their mistranslations, whatever, right? And they get all upset. So that's their way of coming back at me, right? Because that's how we are as humans, right? We don't like to be told we're wrong, that what we hold so dear, that's beloved, we think is right. We don't like to admit that we're wrong, so we get all snotty, right? So what's the first thing you got to do? It's all to do with the neuros, and cognitive behavioural problems, right? You're going to jump out of anger and get snotty at people, right? You call them names, make up assumptions, like you had an intimate relation for years. You don't know them at all. You're just making crap up, right? Okay, so we're going to go to Revelation 13, 18. Well, I don't really need to go there, because way back, former Iron Maiden fan was like, woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends his wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. You might have some variations there. Number of his name, it's his number, blah blah blah. Okay, so we're going to go to the NIV. This is one of the American Bible Society books you push, right? Okay, I've got a King James version, but it's probably about as thick as this screen. Okay, yeah, probably about that thick, and it's really heavy, and it's Shakespeare speak, right? Thee, thou, thou, and I don't really want to, try and do Romeo and Juliet. Rather speak proper English, clear English, right? Okay, so here in Revelations 13, 18, is it? Yeah, 13, 18. Just gotta find it now. Okay, this is what it reads. Yes, okay, because people say it's the mark, it's the chip, it's Elvis, it's Ronald Reagan, it's Trump, Obama, what's the other guy's name? Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, they're all the beast, and all this sort of crap. They come up with all this rubbish, right? And it's not according to the scriptures, okay, or the original manuscripts, scriptures written in that language and spoken in that language, right, by John of Revelations, right? Okay, we go up here. He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is a man's number. His number is 666, right? Or 666. See, so people, you can read that in black and white, right? If you know how to speak English, got a good grasp of the English language and the grammar and all that sort of stuff, right? And you got good pair of eyes here, you can see, right? Good vision, okay? If you can't see, get some glasses, or get a big ass magnifying glass like this, right? And read it, because like when you go get food, on the labels, what they do now is they put these little tiny letters, right? You can't see what the hell's in it. And you look, ooh, what's that? Polyurethane or something, or whatever, right? And you go home and you do your research and you find out, oh, whatever this thing is they had on there, it's paint stripper. What the hell? Put paint stripper on my baked beans. What the hell? All that sort of crap. Or you go look at what's the number. It's got a big fancy Latin name or something, and it's got 476. It's a manufacturer's code or something like that, right? So I'm not going to tell you that, but you can find out information online. What is that thing? Oh, it's beetle poo. What the hell? You put beetle poo on my... but that's some idiot on the YouTube saying, was it noodle, what they call Maggi soups, the red dye. It was some bug that pooped, and they gave it up the poop, crushed it, and put it as red dye. Wrong. It was actually the bug itself. In South America, they crushed the bug. They got them all on this cloth, right? You see them all, and then they crushed them because it was to make colouring for these different cloths and stuff, right? And so they got their different coloured things. But yeah, they were using the actual whole bug to squish, right, down to a fine powder and put it in there. Put it in the this Maggi soup packet that you get, but they say there's no real positive harm. It's not going to make you, violently ill and stuff like that. It's so minute or whatever. Yeah, it's not going to have adverse reactions or whatever. Unless you hate Maggi soup, you can't stomach it, whatever. Okay, so that's what it says in the NIV, right? The New International Version, not the New Indian Version. Okay, so you got an understanding of that one. Okay, I go to the original Aramaic, Galilean Aramaic, translated by Victor N. Alexander. Same chapters, 13, Revelations 13. Okay, because Andrew Gabriel Roth on AramaicScriptures.com doesn't have it. I don't know why he didn't do it. Translate it from the Eastern Syriac. Okay, we're gonna start from 13:1, right? So you get the gist of it. Okay, of the whole, you get the whole picture, right? Okay, and parenthesis, there's two brackets here. The dragon, that's symbolic for the devil, isn't it? The serpent, the old devil, stood on the sand of the sea, and I, John the Revelator, saw that demon. Okay, inhumane creature. That's what it says in the footnotes on page 501. Literal Aramaic idiom, right? Inhumane creature or anti-man, right? Okay, it's like a carnivorous beast. Okay, it really hates man. Okay, or mankind. And I saw that demon rising out of the sea, that has 10 horns and 7 heads, and on its heads the names of blasphemies. And the demon that I saw resembled a tiger, and its feet were like gold, and its mouth like a mouth of lions. And the dragon gave it its power, the devil gave it its power, and its throne, and great authority. Okay, so there's probably one down here somewhere, I can't remember where it was, of a guy showing all the, somewhere around down here, they're like animals and all that sort of stuff, like leopards and tigers and all that, and on it, like a 7-day Adventist thing, right? Actually, somebody's saying it's a chip, evangelist, whatever. Okay, so it'll be somewhere. Where is it? Not that one. Further. Oh, here we go. Mark Finley here. Right. Saying it's these 4 powers. Okay. Medo, Persia, Babylonian, Greece, Rome. They're hinting that they're like nasty. Right? Powers. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So yeah, it's symbolic, right, of this conglomeration or this confederation, right? Because Rome sits on 7 hills, right? apparently, and there's like 10 or 8 to 10 kingdoms or something. You know, one that has not yet come, all that sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, in the modern version. Yeah. Okay. And on its heads the names of blasphemies. 2. And the demon that I saw, inhumane creature, resembled a tiger, and its feet were like gold. Okay, is that the tiger there? Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, it looks like a leopard or tiger. Oh, there's a tiger there with the wings. Yeah, okay. Or lion. Yeah. A tiger, and its feet were like gold, and its mouth like the mouth of lions. And the dragon gave it his power and his throne and great authority. And one of its heads, as though cut and dying, and from under its own death it pulled through. Okay, so what that's saying in the footnotes is it was cut to death. It's a literal Aramaic idiomatic expression, right? It's the way they express it, and it's symbolic, right? So this thing being mentioned, right? It got hit with some sort of sword, right? So it seemed to have died. Okay, it was cut to death. Okay, let's use an imagination. Let's use an analogy. Sorry, here we go again. Maybe I need to drink of water. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember the old Sinbad movies from the 70s and 80s where, or Jason and the Argonauts or whatever, where they come up against these fantastical beasts, right? Maybe they had 6 heads, jaguars with 6 heads or whatever. Some fantasy movie over there. Right? So these guys fight this beast, right? Chuck a spear at it, whatever, and one manages to cut this thing's head off, right? But to his surprise, the head grows another head, right, from that cut off head. So that's what it's basically saying. It was cut to death, right? Literal Aramaic idiomatic expression, pushed out. But I had this appearance that it came back alive. Okay, it pushed this other head out, right? You know what I mean? It came out like that from that supposedly dead head. Yeah, and one of its heads, as though cut and dying, and from under its own death it pulled through, pushed out, right? Yeah, and the whole world, that's everybody, you know, in the conquered world and the known world, not down there in Fiji and Tonga, you know, because nobody knew about that. It's all the conquered world, yeah? Conquered by the Romans, the Greeks, who, right? That's what it's referring to, right? Okay. Were enthralled. What's that like? Wow, mesmerized, excited, you know. Yeah, amazed at it, right? Couldn't believe it, right? In the wake of that demon, that inhumane creature, carnivorous beast, anti-man, right? In the wake of that demon, and they worshipped the dragon, right? The devil, okay? The old serpent, since it gave authority to that demon. Okay, they may have realized that they were doing it, or they may not have. Probably more likely they weren't aware of it. Okay, unconsciously, right? Gave authority to that demon, and who could do battle with him? But if it's what I'm thinking, it is, well, yeah, double-sided coin, right? Okay, two-sided coin, double-sided. And he was given a mouth to utter abominations. Okay, in the footnotes, page 501. That's done this before, so I know exactly what that is referring to. Literal Aramaic idiom. Oh gosh. Yeah, abominations is nonsense. Okay. Now this is the real, and blasphemies. Now this would be a real kick in your nutsacks, right? The Christians out there, because you don't know this. You think, oh, I know that, I knew that all the time. No, you didn't know that, because you ain't reading the Aramaic New Testament, right? By Victor Alexander, unless you've actually read it before me, then you know. Okay, don't say, yeah, I know after the fact. Okay, yeah, okay. So abominations or nonsense, utter nonsense and blasphemies, and he was given authority, the power, the skills, to do so for 42 months. What's that? About 2.5 years. 12, 24. Yeah, about that. And he opened his mouth to blaspheme against Allah. That's the title of God. He never had a name in the original manuscripts, right? In the original languages, Hebrew and Aramaic, right? Because it's too sacred to utter. So that's why the Jews, they say Hashem. Okay? Go ask him if you think, oh, this guy's full of crap. And this Yahoo Washi Washi and all this. It's not Hebrew, man. What's that nonsense? You just made it up to sound cool, you know? I know there's a Yahuwah and all that sort of stuff. I can understand that, but a Yahoo Washi Washi. I mean, if I put you up in front of a rabbi and he says, "Oh, that's the name of God," he'd like probably just laugh at you, smile at you, and walk away. You know? Try putting that one across to Toby Singer on his show. Oh, the name of God in Hebrew is Yahoo Washi Washi. Dude. Yeah, for 42 months. And he opened his mouth to blaspheme against Allah. Ha! It's not the Arabic Allah, right? Even though they might say, yes it is. Because it comes from the Syriac. Okay, you have a look at the Napataean, which is nomadic. An Arab, nomadic. People who wander the desert regions, not necessarily the Arabs, the Islam people, right? Even though they probably do that in the old days, right? Okay, so you're going to find that word, don't you? People who wandered the desert regions, right? And there could be a mix of people, Semitics, Semites, supposedly from Shemites and all that sort of stuff, whatever, right? Okay, I've seen that, so yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong. Okay, yeah, so open his mouth to blaspheme. Okay, there's something I'm missing here. Okay, yeah, go back to 13:5, and he was given a mouth to utter abominations and blasphemies, right? Yeah, this is the real kick in the nutsacks. As I was saying, Christians might not like this, they've never heard this, and they make claims that they have. They're already aware of that. Probably watch one of my other videos. Yeah, okay. That this person, this being, inhumane creature, whatever, was doing it during the ministry of Yeshua, okay, Jesus the Messiah, okay, so he would have been aware of it. He probably pointed it out. Okay, and he was given authority to do so for 42 months. And he opened his mouth to blaspheme against Allah. Okay, the reason why it's not Allah, you can't tie it to Allah. Don't try, because it goes right back through the Syriac, the Aramaic, right back to the Tammuz. The Tammuz, right? Who had a word A-L-A, Allah, which means keeper of the net, right? Or God of the net. And not the internet, and maybe it was a fishing net or something like that. If you don't believe me, go and look at Shaka Amos, the guy with the lock. No one can touch this lock. All that sort of stuff. Cool dude. Wouldn't want to miss this dude on the street. There's a lot of people out there say, oh, he's a gay bo and all that. Well, as he says, step to the dude in the street and call him that and see what happens to you. He's a big boy, man. He's not a little mouse. And he's all prepared for that sort of crap, as you see. Anyway, go look at this one, R.I.P. the Moors. Part 2, rest in peace, the Moors. Again, he talks about he covers a Dutch guy, Jacobson, I think it is. Yeah, a Syriologist, really renowned. Got all the qualifications. He was considered the top dog in Syriology, right? So he knows his stuff, and he traced it all the way back to the Tammuz, the Syrians, some sort of tribe like that. Okay, so yeah, and also if you look at scriptures, scriptures like Islam, Muhammadans, Muslims will say we don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. He wasn't the Messiah. He was just another man in the line of, as a prophet in the line of say Muhammad, like Muhammad, whatever. Okay, blah blah blah. But he says if you don't believe in him as the Son of God, the Messiah, right, you don't have God. If you don't have God, you don't have the Son and all that sort of stuff, right? You're not part of God. Okay? If you don't accept the Son as who he said he was, then you have no part in God. You don't have God, right? Because without the Son, you can't have God. Without God, you can't have this. Without the Son, right? You can't have God. You don't have access to God, right? Or way back to God, right? And without, you understand? Like, without the Son, you don't have God. Without God, you don't have the Son. Yeah, it's confusing. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, if you don't believe in him and don't accept him as the Messiah, right, the Son of God, then you don't have God. Okay, that's what they're saying in the scriptures. Okay, in the New Testament. Okay, everybody else has different ideas. Oh, there's no such thing, blah blah blah. Well, we're not talking about that at the moment. Okay, just basically that. Okay, if you don't have the Son, you don't accept him as a Messiah, right, as a Son of God, sent from God, you don't have God. He tells you, and if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Things like that, and in the scriptures. Not me saying it. It's in the scriptures. Go check it out. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, this person was given authority over all the generations, right, and nations and tongues and peoples, right. Everybody, right, not just in that generation, but the generations to follow, the next one, the next one, the next one. Okay, so that's some sort of organization, church power, right, or something with a power, right, to do that century after century after century. So it's not just one single man, okay, from that era. It's people following after, coming after, right. So that's what I'm saying. It's one church power, one organization, right? The Roman state church, the Catholic Church, Roman Catholic Church, right? They've probably got some power behind them, like the Jesuits apparently, who got them by the nutsacks, and they can't really do much. That sort of stuff. If you look at those conspiracy theories, blah blah blah, whatever, right? Okay, we'll get to the real meat and potatoes, the fish and chips of this. Okay, yeah, and all generations and nations and tongues and peoples, right? It didn't matter who you were, if you're rich or famous or poor and suffering, you all got this. If you're believers in that, they did battle with you, right? Like the Waldeans, the Lombardis, is that what you call them? All these different other sects, right? Religious sects, sects, right? Okay, factions, right? Because they wanted to establish themselves as the number one, the mother church. Anyone that was the opposition or competition, either convert or die, be in lack, come into our religion, under our authority, right? Blah blah blah. Acknowledge, us, and then you'll be okay, And people thought, well, yeah, I'd rather do that than die, so they give up their belief system and go to this one, right? And kiss more than the Pope's ring. Okay, so they had the power to do battle with the saints and defeat them, be victorious over them, right? Okay, to subdue them, make them submit, and they worshipped him, all of them who dwelled on earth, those whose name is not written in the book of life of the Lamb who was sacrificed, cut up, it says in the footnotes on 105, or consecrated. Okay, so you're in this false religion, right? You think you're all saved and all that sort of stuff and you're going to heaven, but you're not, okay? Because your name wasn't found in the book of life, okay? Because you're in a false religion, but you don't realise it. It's not always your fault until you wake up and realise and get out of it, right? Okay, in the book of life of the Lamb who was sacrificed or consecrated from the foundations of the universe, okay? Jump right over here. Okay. John sees another demon. Okay, in Revelations 13:11, and I saw another demon. This is John. He saw another demon, a inhumane creature, carnivorous beast, an anti-man, that rose from the earth, and he had two horns resembling those of a ram, and he spoke as a dragon. Okay, so it's like a sheep in wolf's clothing. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, that's right. Get it right, boy. That rose from the earth. Okay, and was worldly, and he had two horns resembling those of a ram, and he spoke as a dragon. wolf in sheep's clothing. He was like, speaking like a dove, acting like a dove, but really he was a carnivorous snake, a lying snake, right? Okay, or devil, satanic, whatever you want to call it, and all the powers of that first demon. This is the authority. Okay, the authority in the footnotes of that first demon or inhumane creature, anti-man. He performed before them, and he made the world, everybody in it, all the inhabitants, and those who dwell in it, so they would worship that first demon, the one who became healed from under its own death. Yeah, the one that pushed out, right? It seemed to have died, and a big cut to it, right? But then it seemed to come alive. It grew another head, right? Healed. Okay. So, yeah, okay. The one who became healed from under its own death, and he performed grandiose signs. 13. Okay, so grand. Yeah, what nearly died. Okay. And 13. Boisterous. Okay. Okay. Boisterous signs. Whereas even fire fell. Literal Aramaic idiom, from below. Okay. From the sky over the earth before humanity, and he misleads, leads to oblivion, right? Well, a few Christians like puts you on the path to hell, road to hell, right? Leads you to hell. But oblivion here is like John 3:16. They shall not perish, meaning go into oblivion, right? Go to non-existence. Okay, that's what that means. In the Aramaic into English. Okay. Galilean Aramaic. Okay. Where are we now? And he misleads those who dwell on earth to be the slaves of the image of that demon, the one who had been struck by the sword and had lived, right? Okay, so it's not a statue or anything like that. It's symbolic, right? Okay, yeah, and he misleads those who dwell on earth to be the slaves of the image of that demon. Okay, the likeness. Okay, the visage. Yeah. It appears to be like that. The image of that demon. Okay, the one who had been struck by the sword and had lived. Okay, it's like this future thing, right? This church power, this whatever, right? It seemed like it died before, like it got, cut down, shut down, whatever. Okay, but it came back to life, and this one's like a clone of it. Okay, in the future, right? Going towards the future. Okay, yeah, the one who had been struck by the sword and had lived, and it was given to him to impart a spirit to the image of that demon. Oh my gosh, 14. Idol. It's an idol, right? Okay, so where are we? Okay, yeah. And it was given to him to impart a spirit to the image or idol of that demon. Yeah, something it represents. Okay, the idol of that demon. And to command that all those who do not worship the image of that demon be killed. Yep, there you go. Okay, so they got these. Yeah, they probably got these idols and that sort of stuff. And then they send out people that someone else don't want to come and worship that, come under that authority, knock them off. Okay. And he enslaved them all, the small and the famous, and the rich and the poor, and the children of the free and the slaves, wherein to be given a mark. Okay. So yeah, that's what happened to the Lombards, the Waltines, all that sort of stuff. They were the competition, the opposition. So they went out there, killed them off, burnt them at the stake, whatever. The Spanish Inquisition, Roman Catholic Church Inquisition, etc., witch hunts, all that sort of stuff, right? And they're given a mark. What's a mark? Okay, it's not an ID chip, because this is written in his day, John's day, when he was on Patmos Island and he had a vision, right? It's not a microwave chip or RFID chip or vaccine chip or anything like that, right? On your right hands or between your eyes, a mark. Literal Aramaic idiom, authorization, certification, stamp, seal, or commission. It's not like a birth certificate or a death certificate or a rewarding certificate or that sort of crap, vaccine certificates, nothing like that. Okay, it doesn't indicate that in that sense that it's like that. Okay, it's like like when Cain killed his brother, right, and God put that mark on him, right? It's a sign or it's a seal. Okay, that anyone else, that's because he says, oh, if anyone else finds me in that land, the land of Nod, they'll kill me. So he put this mark on him, right? And it's like a sign, a seal, right, that everyone can see. I don't know if it's, probably, hopefully it's not like that year one where lightning hits him and he goes, whoa, what's the chances of that? Got a big scar on his head. But yeah, something like that, that people knew, don't touch this dude, right? Or else you get, the wrath of God on you and revenge or whatever it was. Okay, yeah, because, and also like when you become a Christian and that, right, you've got the seal of God on you, haven't you? You get filled with the Holy Spirit, all that sort of stuff. You get the seal of God, right? God probably already knows, but you can see it far off. You can see it far off. So yeah, you've got the seal of God, you're protected, you're approved, and all that sort of stuff. Right? That's what it's meaning, right? So these get the counterfeit, right? This is the seal or commission of his counterfeit. If he's got a counterfeit, right? The devil, the dragon, the old serpent. Okay, a false church. Okay. That's what it's talking about. Okay, in their foreheads. Yeah, sorry, gotta get back up here. Okay, given a mark on their right hands or between their eyes, that no one could sell or buy except he who has the mark of that demon or the number of his name. Okay, it could be a future event, happening, but it's actually a possibility there if you read the these modern versions, right? But this is in the era of John, right? What he saw when he had this vision, right? Okay, it could be, because the next video I give you is going to blow your pants off, right? You're not going to go, what? I didn't know that. But I picked up on this on a video game, a Viet Cong one, right? Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. And a couple of dudes are standing. I'll explain it in the next video. Okay, so be given a mark on your right hand or between your eyes, right? Right hand symbolises work, right? What you do, and okay, what is it? Forehead. Yeah. Right, what do you call this thing here? Prefrontal lobe. Right. Yeah, or between your eyes. Use the alternative, right? Given a mark on your right hands or between your eyes. Right? Or between your eyes. Right? Your intellect. Okay? It's like they tell you, bomb, this is how it is, this is the scriptures, bomb, this is how it is, Mary, but keep pumping it in your brain, right? Right, until they tell you that lie long enough. This is what the guy with the square moustache said. If you tell the lie long enough, they'll soon start believing it. So that's what they do. Pump, and then eventually you give up and you go, yeah, okay. You start believing those lies. You accept it, right? Yeah. Please leave me alone, you don't make it anymore. So you take on that lie, right? Okay, yeah, okay. So no one can buy or sell or buy except he has that mark of that demon or the number of his name. Okay, so I was thinking of another thing here. It could be relating to the Jewish people in the Holocaust, right? Because didn't they get a mark, a number, right, on their sometimes those Germans used to brand it on the head. They're just like pricks, right? But maybe that's just a movie or maybe a documentary that shows it. But they brand Star of David or on their foreheads, Obviously you can't get rid of that, can you? Unless you grow a fringe like that, right? Or they put this number on their whichever, probably on the right arm or something like that, right? Wherever they put it, and then a Star of David, to recognise, oh, that's Das Juden, D Juden, that's a Jew, or Der Juden, right? Okay, German word for Jew, you see, and they couldn't buy or sell or do anything, unless they had that mark. And who supported Hitler in the World War II and to do all that sort of crap? apparently Zionism, which was dead, because he got in, right? Then it came back to life. Okay, it came back to life, right? And then you see pictures of the Pope of that time blessing Hitler, and then there's these Orthodox priests standing in the background, all black and big crosses, whatever, looking on. And then you got, like, sadly, you got Indians supposedly joined the Wehrmacht, the foot soldiers, the infantry, and even some Muslims probably. They supplied gas to Rommel in the desert. This is get rid of the state of Israel, get rid of the Jews. I don't think there was a state at the time. It wasn't until after, right? Get rid of these Jews. We'll give you all the because I think British have got a bit of Jew in them, whatever. So maybe they were referring to them. I don't know. But get rid of all these Jews, and what's his name? Is it Saddam Hussein? The other guy. What's the other guy's name? One of those ones. Might have been Hussein. His uncle or something, or father or somebody like that. Somebody in his family. They had all these oil and whatever, and they could supply. You could supply them, right? And that's what they suggested. You get rid of them, and we'll wipe them all out. We'll give you all the oil you want. Well, all the oil that you want, right? All the oil. Yeah. Go check that out. Do your research. Don't trust me on that. Go do your research. Okay. To find that out. Okay. So yeah, you couldn't trade. You couldn't buy or sell unless you had that identifying mark, that seal, right? Stamp. Okay. Or certification. Yes, he said it could fit the World War II thing, right? Okay, where these poor Jews couldn't do nothing, It's really limited rations and had to sneak around and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Here is wisdom. Here there is wisdom. Whoever has a mind, a brain, who has intellect, should count the number of that demon, inhumane creature, beast, carnivorous creature, whatever, anti-man. Okay. For it is the number of a human being, and his number is 666. It's a number of a human being, not some disease, and you use the alphabet to figure that out. That's a load of baloney. So there I've proved that cheeky. I think personally it's just what you're saying I've exposed, right, is fake, okay, is wrong, an error, total lies, right? Where it says here in the original languages, Galilean Aramaic New Testament, right, into English, translated by someone who knows that language, okay, been a translator for 15, 20, 30 years, whatever, right? And yeah, and that's what it says there. It's a number of a human being, and his number is 666. It says the same thing in here. It's a number of a man, a man's number, and it's 666. Okay, so okay, yeah. So I got another one for you, right, to show you. Okay, this is the one that they want to copyright strike, right? Okay, to put it, so that's why I'm making a new one. Okay, got another one here for you. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, copyright claim. So yeah, I don't have those. Try to have a clean record. Right, this one here. Shock horror when you look at this one. If you're on YouTube. Get right to the meat and potatoes. Okay, you can expand it. Turn it up a bit.
Second and third generation. Just generation from the third week.
Okay, let's give it there.
We've designed these new versions. But I want to show you in more detail this thing because it's just ridiculous. So let's take a look at this. Alright, here you can see the chart of the English Bible. Zoom in a little bit here so you can get a
Okay, yeah, so like you said, they're only showing you the Hebrew Old Testament side, right? That it originated from the Hebrew Old Testament. There's nothing on the Greek side, no Koine Greek or anything like that, which was akin to the Aramaic and the Hebrew. If you translate it into English, you'd find that it's pretty accurate, pretty close. The nearest to the Hebrew and the Aramaic. There's nothing in that column. Okay, it's all, here's Septuagint, right? Latin Bible, Latin Vulgate, another Latin Bible, all Tyndale, right? Is it covered there? All of those Tyndales, Luther, Martin Luther, Wycliffe, right? All coming from the Roman Catholic Church. There's nothing on the Greek side. Okay, till you get to the only one that was right, they couldn't mess with was the King James version, because King James, in the front of the old 1611 one, or a 67, 68 version of it, there should be a letter there dedicated to the Prince, or aka King James I, right? King James Stewart I, right? Not the actor, because he kicked them out of it, right? He kicked them off the committee. You know, he didn't commission them, he kept them away because they would have put their own bias and twist to it and wanted to add their apocrypha, right? So they weren't allowed in it, right? And these other people did it. Supposedly William Shakespeare and Francis Bacon, his lover, supposedly, right? But yeah, go do your research on that one. Because apparently I heard in the news, years ago, that William Shakespeare didn't exist, that Francis Bacon was the one who wrote all the Bard's Tales, right, under a pseudonym, is it? Yeah, anonymous. He was an anonymous name, or pen name, right? But I don't know. Yeah, so and Erasmus, right, a scholar for the Roman Catholic Church, supposedly he was a seducer. He tried to seduce one of the students, because he was like a scholar or whatever at some top university, right? Yeah, he got caught by the parents, so he runs off, pretends to be a womanizer, but he does it again. So he becomes known as a homo, right? Homosexual. So he might have added homosexual undertones to, because he wanted to complete Jerome's work of the New Testament, right? So he might have stuck some homosexual undertones in there, like there's a lot of kissing in there apparently. You know, people kissing each other on the lips and going up on roofs and kissing each other, and you know, all this sort of stuff, greeting people with a kiss on the lips and stuff. So this other faction gave this other guy crap because he slipped up and said, yeah, when we greet each other we kiss each other on the lips. Well, this guy asked him, he said, yeah, that's right, we do that. They didn't realise they were trapping him, right? So they teased him for about half an hour, 20 minutes, or whatever, an hour. You kiss each other on the lips, you're all a bunch of homos, you know. You're a bunch of she's. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so if you have a look here, right, in this video, there's nothing there. Let me try to play some more.
So when you go on through all these versions, not true. As I've shown many
See?
times, you have Nestle.
Yeah, but yes, something. So yeah, basically he's saying that the Roman Catholic Church, or the Latins, right, are saying that there was only this one, like Hebrew Old Testament, and from that stemmed all these versions, right? The old Septuagint, Vulgate, Wycliffe's, it says Latin anyway. 15. Yeah, I saw a video before this, right? You can go and look at this video yourself. I'll leave a link at the bottom of this video, so you can go have a look at it yourself. Right? They're saying that the Roman Catholics gave everyone the Bible, complete crap, right? As this guy here states, right? They're all Vulgate. All those Bibles are all Latin. They're all from the Roman Catholic Church. You know, all translated into Latin, right? And pushed as new versions by the American Bible Society, right? Okay. He's uncovered their lies. Okay, so on the back of the Aramaic New Testament, it actually says that this translation, or that translation, is made from the original Aramaic text directly into English bypassing the errors of the Greek original, the Latin Vulgate, and all the other Western translations made from them. This is an effort to rekindle the apostolic faith in the name of Yahshua Mashiach, or Jesus the Messiah, throughout the world. Victor Alexander, translator, right? So then you got his translator note on the inside, page 3, and it says, after Yahshua or Jesus the Messiah preached and read the scriptures in ancient Aramaic, the American missionaries of the 19th century attempted to translate the scriptures, okay, the ancient manuscripts, into modern Aramaic or Syriac, but botched it, as they adapted it to the King James Version in the use by them at the time, around about 1900s, 1800s, 1900s. The Urmia, North Iran version of the Bible is essentially the American Bible translated into modern Aramaic or Syriac. By the way, this is a real nut kicker. Be prepared for this. The American missionaries have translated all the Bibles of all the countries of the world from the American Bible. Okay? And that's what the American Bible Society is. And they're pushing all these Latin Roman Catholic versions. Okay? They've done a new version of the King James, right? Or they did one, and they messed around with it, right? But the one that King James commissioned is to be read in the only in the churches of England, because he was I think he either created or founded or he restored the Church of England, right? It's the only one authorized to be read in the churches of England. You know, so pastors say, oh, you know, it's all been authorized to be read in the church all over the world. Incorrect. Because probably got, I wouldn't say, yeah, but I don't think they'd have a Roman Catholic New King James. Some of them do use it. Yeah, most of them will be pushing the 1611. Yeah, but they're wrong in that case. Okay, unless, because it doesn't say King James. It doesn't say in that letter dedication to him. And you authorised it all over the world, right? Because yeah, I don't know if they discovered New Zealand, Fiji, and Tonga yet. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he was basically saying, you know, the Church of England, all the churches in England, okay, all the ones that they made Protestant, kept the Catholics out, who were dying to get back in. He had some lady, she was a prisoner for years and years and years. They kept trying to rescue her, but they kept failing. She ended up dying in there, something like that. Was that pre-him? Might have been before Anne Boleyn. Was that her name? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, something like that. I watched a video on it. Ages ago, documentary. Okay, yeah, the American missionaries of the 19th century attempted to translate the scripture, the Aramaic scriptures, into modern Aramaic Syriac, okay? The Galilean Aramaic. But watch it, as they adapted it to the King James Version in use by them at the time. The Urmia North Iran version of the Bible is essentially the American Bible translated into modern Aramaic or Syriac. By the way, the American missionaries have translated all the Bibles of all the countries of the world from the American Bible. That is why all the Bibles thus translated contain the same errors in translation and pseudo-Christian doctrines that have caused so much misery in the world for 200 years. The earlier plagiarized versions of the Bible were the Greek original and the Latin Vulgate. These versions were translated by Martin Luther, William Tyndale, and other Protestant translators over the last 5 centuries from the Greek Septuagint and the Greek original, the Greek New Testament translation from the Aramaic. These then were further translated by the American translators until we have the situation today with all these versions of the Bible and thousands of denominations, each with their own individual interpretations. The Disciples' New Testament is then the only accurate and non-prejudicial translation of the original New Testament scriptures by a native Aramaic-speaking translator, Victor N. Alexander. That dude, right? Okay. So, yeah. So you all been duped, you all been suckered, you all been fooled. You know, that lovely Bible you got on your shelf at home and all that you choose so much is Roman Catholic, you know. Okay? From the Latin. Great Bible, right? It carries on with it. There's nothing on the Greek side. Okay? Nothing at all. We've got the Geneva, we've got Matthew's Bible, Luther's German Bible, New Testament, Pentateuch, Coverdale's version, 1535 or something. Right, carry on.
All these versions. Not true. As I've shown many times, you have Mesolon, you have Textus Receptus. There are two Greek texts.
You got the,
Just one.
yeah,
And
got two.
multiple editions of both of these. There's United Bible Society's text.
Okay, so what you're reading from is Roman Catholic from the Latin, okay, pushed by the American Bible Society, right? So if I was you, I'd stick with the KJV, even though it's got Shakespeare speak, right? And yeah, original manuscripts. Okay, anything else that's on that side, this side, ignore it, and go with the ones that are on the right side, right? The King James Version and any manuscripts, original manuscripts preserved, hidden, right, from the original languages, Syrian, Aramaic, or Asherite, and Hebrew, right, the original Hebrew, okay, before they added the dots and the vowel, the vowels, the dot system and the vowels, mess with it, the Masoretes, okay, and all that sort of stuff, right, and the Koine Greek, if you can get it, without, hopefully they haven't added dots or some sort of structure to it, right, to change the meanings, because, or many of the words, because Aramaic, Assyrian Aramaic, or Asherite, and Hebrew were sister languages, right? Okay, known as the Ketav Asherite, which is in the Jewish Talmud, right? Portions of it. Okay, and then you got the Hebrew, which is Ketav Iri, I-R-I. I don't know how to pronounce it probably, but it's like that, right? So they were sister languages. They had the same words, same meanings, but then somewhere along the way, the Masoretes got hold of it, added the dot system, which changed the structure and then the meaning of the words. So when you look back, right, the Aramaic and the Hebrew have similar words but different meanings a lot of the times, right? Yeah, it's like apparently Islam as well. They're what they call the Nukta or something. There's no vowels in the Hebrew and the Aramaic, right? Only one in the Aramaic was an A, but it's considered a consonant. Okay, and maybe for the Assyrian, they might have had vowels or whatever. Okay, seen there like in if that word Yahshua is originally Assyrian. Okay, you've got Ishor, which is Y-S-H-O. So obviously there's what we see as a vowel there. It's called Ishor. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they got this nukta according to Polite versus Imam Bashir, right? And he says to him, he's talking about Islam, right? And he says there was no consonants, there was no vowels, etc. They added this nukta, like these dots or whatever, and it changed the structure, which then changed the meaning of the original words. And this guy was babyface Imam, whatever he was, Bashir, whatever, was trying to tell me, no, it just makes it easy for these new people, they're not Arabic or whatever, to learn the Arabic, all that sort of stuff. And he says, Polite says, according to the trilateral rule, they had no vowels or whatever, so it would, he asked them, because he said some sentence from the Surah, come under the mercy of Allah, his wings, or whatever it was, whatever the verse, he said in Arabic, I don't know what it was. Right, and she said, okay, yeah. What word are you using, for mercy or whatever it was? And she says, Rahman, Rahim, right, Rahim, right. So he explains, Polite explains this RHM, trilateral rule. Okay, he's talking away, and he says, now that's why I carry a phone, because the guy keeps butting in saying he's a liar and all that sort of stuff. What's it called? Immature ejaculation or some crap like that. He said now some intellectual ejaculation is using those big terms, right? And he goes, well, that's what they say every time, you're trying to produce the facts. They say you're a liar, so he carries his mobile phone around him to get to the internet, so he can show them the evidence, right? So these other black people, I guess, you can see their hands, right? They're standing. One of them shows him a phone, because he goes, what you do is you go and you look it up yourself, do your own research, right? And then they found this something online, and you see the hand showing a phone, right? He goes, oh, what'd you find? And Rahim, Rahman. Okay, because he's going on about Allah being a female, interchangeable with the H and the T and whatever. So it's Alat, one of those infamous tracts that they put out there. I've forgotten what the name of them are, but apparently they're like poo-pooed, like they're biased and all this other crap. They're false. I've forgotten them. They're all famous, They're the ones you can buy at Christian bookshops. They're black and yellow and stuff. They got like some story of some guy that didn't believe, he scoffed and he went to hell and all that sort of stuff. Those little tracts. Yeah, had in about Allah. That had this guy had 3 daughters. One of them was called Alat. She was pregnant, right? So this polite guy's saying, well, you can change the H and the T. It's interchangeable, whatever, right? So Alat and all this other stuff there. She go watch that video, right? And she's what did you find? And she said, oh, Rahim Rahman. What does it mean? Whatever. And she says, womb. And you go, ooh, like this, big bug eyes like he's got. He goes, that means womb. Alat or Allah had a womb. It had a womb, right? And the other guy's like, no, it's all rubbish, because it's on the internet, it must be true. And she says, but they found it on the internet, the definition of it. So there you go. Oh, but it means this, making all these excuses. It can mean this. Other people write in, it means this, blah blah. He doesn't know what he's talking about, But he's basically polite's covering as well that the imams or the higher ups, right, the elites know that crap, right? But they're not going to tell the imams who will pass it on to the people, because then they go, oh my goodness, we didn't know this. We were fooled all of that time that our God is a goddess. It's got a womb. Oh my goodness, we can't have that. Imagine all the people suddenly go, oh, what's this crap? Sexist males, or whatever, masculine. How it's been through the ages. Woman's got to submit herself. Don't talk in the church and all that sort of stuff. Right? We honour our woman like a goddess, but she's got to walk 10 paces behind us. All that sort of crap. The only one apparently that really reveres their woman as goddesses was the ancient Egyptians. The Kemet. Okay? They venerated them. Sometimes the woman sat on the throne as the queen, but she chose the dude that she wanted to marry. Right? One of those queens, I can't remember who it was, went to sign a contract with the Romans. It wasn't Cleopatra. It was another one. But she couldn't do it because they didn't believe that a woman should sign contracts. It's a man thing, So she takes the slave there apparently and gets the slave, the male, to sign it for her and does the deal, trade deal, whatever. Another one sat on the throne, and she chose the king, right, and then had some sort of problem with his kicks-ups or something like that, whatever. And then he ends up dying, and oldest son dies, and she only got like the little boy, untrained in warfare, so she spends 10-20 years training him up. Right, so then he go attack these people, right, kick them out. Stuff like that, but there's that variation in stories of who did it. There was it King Ahmose, one, or was it his son, that went there and defeated them. King Ahmose first, he defeated them, and then maybe he died there. His son went there, he defeated them, but he died there. Then there's a version that the wife jumped on the chariot, and kicked him out of what they called Avaris or Sion at the time. There's so many different variations. So that's why you got to do your research, search out the truth, right? Which is the truth, which is mythological or fable or total rubbish, according to the establishing the facts and making sure that everything's irrefutable, etc. Right? The evidence. So people can debunk it, but they can't deny it, as I say on all these videos. Okay, so so that's what it is. This Mark of the Beast thing. It's not this chip, but that could be something Big Brother can do in the future to help you out. Did I mention about the Fantastic Voyage movie? Where they put a spaceship in an injection, this old TV series, right? And people in it, and then they went through all the bloodstream, went past all the blood vessels, red corpuscles, white corpuscles, all that sort of stuff, and attack some alien disease and all this other crap. It was a real good TV series. Maybe they could do something like that, like a little camera probe that goes in there and says, oh, okay, what's wrong here, where is it, and some lasers come out of it or whatever, or they can identify it so they can get in there with their laser apparatus and, you know, cure your cancer or whatever, ovarian cancer or whatever, you know, where they couldn't get there. You know, those little places, crevices, right? That sort of stuff. You know, but then they could use it for the negative, to be spying on you, like they say on the videos, conspiracy videos. Get the injection, you know, and then you glow. You know, and they know that, oh, you got it, so you can buy the food and do whatever, right, as everyone else is. But you ain't done it, okay? So you ain't getting nothing. But I did a video on Christmas present. Trump's going to give all Americans, right? He's got all these vaccines for coronavirus, COVID-19, sitting there someplace, right? And then he's going to get the military to load them all onto trucks and tanks and whatever, go down right across America and give it to everyone. Everyone has to have it. He said, he's just been a bit soft here, saying most, right? But what he really means is they're going to give it to everyone, right? Yeah, because this other guy, doctor or whatever he was, said, telling this other guy in this video, okay, they're going to give it to you, right? And if you say, oh, I don't really need that, you know, what do I need that for? You refuse it, right? It's going to be compulsory, and then you don't want it, so they grab you, take you to the nearest doctor, right, centre, whatever, put you in that chair, tape you up, strap you up, and force you to have it, right? You know, you're going to have it whether you like it or not. You know, and then you get the rest of it's all this, it's all that inside it, you know, the mark and all this sort of crap, you know, RFID chip, prove it, you know. Some people say, oh yeah, I got the mark, you know, we're all proud, oh, I got the chip. Yeah, I can make a video saying, yeah, I got a chip, and you're like, sellotape a chip, potato chip to my, there you go, I got a chip, you know, I can make up stories. There's lots of stories, oh, they already got the chip 20 years ago in Mexico, implants at the back of the neck, and then people were running around getting this tattoo, you know, of, like you get on a cigarette packet, when they scan it, it's got like 61597 dash or whatever, 6, you know, and they say, oh, that's 666 or that sort of crap. Yeah, it became a fashion thing. You know, put it on the back of your neck because those programs, what's it? The one with that hot chicken, what's her name? Alba. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Jessica Alba. Yeah, all these movies come up and they had these identifying mark on them, you scan it, all that sort of crap. Like, and you can't go shopping and get your groceries unless you've got this mark on your hand, they scan it. Yeah, but I just told you from the original Aramaic into English scriptures what it actually is. Oh yeah, about that video with the army guy, why I clicked onto this other thing. But hey, that's another video. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you here, right? So, toodaloo, catch you later. Be good, stay aware, keep aware, you know. Don't be fooled by all the fluff. Don't believe the hype. Yeah, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay.